Hey guys, what's up? It's Little Proper Lady here. It's Wednesday, July 10th, I think. Let me check. Yep, Wednesday, July 10th, 2019. And yeah, so let's get into today's topic. I kind of got sidetracked for a second there. Sorry. Lots of stuff to do today. Um, group versus solo survival. So anything that I'm going to mention in this video is going to kind of have to do specifically for an S.H.T.F situation. And I'm not saying it's going to be just specifically for bugging in or bugging out. Some of these scenarios do apply to both. Some apply to one or the other. So it just depends. So let's get right into it. So let's say you don't have a group. You don't have any type of group established and a major S.H.T.F situation happens and you're essentially riding solo. Well, as with anything in life, there's always pros and cons. So there are pros and cons to both going solo and, dealing with a type of group situation. Me in particular, I think a group is a better idea, and I'll kind of go over that after I go over the pros and cons as to why I think it's a better idea, and why I have a group established and I'm trying to add to it. So let's go over the pros first for being a lone wolf essentially in an S.H.T.F situation. So you're faster. You don't have anybody that's keeping you from getting to where you need to go and doing what you need to do, and you're also harder to track. There's less, chances of other people finding where you are when you're by yourself. You also need less supplies. And that's, essentially why you're going to be able to move faster. Not to mention, like I said, you don't have other people that you have to wait up for. So having less supplies means it's easier to carry and easier to get to where it is that you need to go. You're also more quiet alone. If you have a group that has, kids or a bunch of adults, chances are they're going to be a lot louder than when you are by yourself. And you also don't have to worry about any type of arguments or anything like that, and establishing some type of a leadership kind of system that has rules and laws, because you're by yourself. You are the leader. You're the one that's making those decisions and things like that. So those are just some of the pros of being a lone wolf. Let's go over the cons, though. We are a social being. So, you always hear the saying, dogs travel in packs, schools of fish. There's all sorts of animals, reptiles, all sorts of things that travel together, that do things together, and we are one of those species. So we have psychological issues when we are left alone. For extended periods of time. We've seen that all too well in solitary confinement in the prison system. A lot of people crack up and, harm themselves or harm other people. So you have that entire aspect of it when you are by yourself. You also have less security. So you don't have people that are able to keep an eye on things and watch out for things. You're on your own as far as that goes. And this kind of brings me to the next point. You don't have anybody to take turns on watch. So if you're in a major S.H.T.F situation, and let's say you're bugging in, you don't have other individuals that you can rely on so you can get some rest, which in turn is going to have all sorts of, consequences all on its own. So you're going to have adverse health effects from not getting proper sleep. You'll have less nutrition because you have to be doing everything yourself. You're not able to hunt and forage and do those kind of things, to get the calorie intake that you need. And again, the proper rest that you need. You also have to learn how to be a good problem solver on your own without the input of other individuals. And not everybody always has all of the answers. So that is a major downfall as far as that goes. There may be a situation that arises that you're not going to know how to take care of that situation. So that's something that you need to think about as well. So as far as a group situation is concerned, so pros for being in a group is you have a support system. So you have other individuals there that are able to help you in any way necessary, and you're able to help them as well. So, it's a give and take kind of a thing. You also have extra supplies, when you're in a group. So, you may have forgotten some things, and other members of your group may have those items. So you're going to be better off prepared as far as all of that is concerned. You're also able to divide the work. So like I said, as far as hunting and foraging, one person can be out hunting, one person can be out foraging, one person can be tending to the fire, one person can be keeping a lookout, around your shelter, one person can be gardening, one person can be getting water. There's just endless things that you can do with multiple people, where it's going to cut down your workload immensely. You're also going to have that extra security. You're going to have more eyes on where you are or where you're going, to keep a lookout for invaders and things like that. And I think that's the biggest one. Everybody will be able to take turns. Everybody will be able to take watch. So you'll be able to, sleep while somebody else is on duty, and then, you take turns. So even if you have just one extra person, that's going to make a world of difference as far as that goes. Now, like I said, there are cons to every situation. So the cons, you're going to need more supplies, which is going to make it harder to trek. It's also going to make it louder and easier to track with those additional supplies. You're going to potentially have, arguments amongst your group, especially if it's going to be a long-term S.H.T.F situation. Everybody wants to be the ruler because everybody knows better. So you're going to have issues that arise as far as that goes. So choose wisely who it is that's going to be in your group. Also, you're much louder as a group, and you're much slower as a group. And you also have to keep in mind group security. Like I said, keep in mind, you could have issues, with particular individuals in your group that are getting rowdy or not doing their fair share. And at that point in time, you kind of have to make the decision as to whether this person is beneficial or just a hassle. And you may have to end up, as terrible as it sounds, sending them off on their own and saying, okay, you're going to have to do it by yourself. If you want to continue to cause issues within our group and disrupt it, then this is how it has to be. And, you need to have a leader. So unless you're able to develop that type of community amongst your group, where everybody is in charge of a specific thing based on their qualifications, based on their abilities. And I think that's the best route to go, honestly. So let's say somebody's really, really good at, gathering. They know, what's poison, what's not poison. And that person should be in charge of that kind of thing. And they should be teaching other people in the group how to do that, and vice versa with everything else. So if you're able to establish that kind of a thing, and start establishing it now, then it's going to make for a smoother outcome when an S.H.T.F situation does occur. So these are just some things that I wanted to touch base on and keep in mind. And I think a group is definitely a better aspect, just for the simple fact that you're going to have the ability to not have psychological issues, to not have health issues, as many of them. Yes, there's probably going to be a lot of health issues just because we're not used to living in a situation like that. So it's going to be a shock to our system. But having people there that can help, that can comfort, that can have alternative views and inputs is always going to be beneficial in any type of a situation. Everybody brings to the table a different mindset, a different skill. So those are important things to be looking for. And in my group, I have people that, do all sorts of different things, can do all sorts of different things that I can't do, and I can do things that other people in my group can't do. So I feel like we would be beneficial, and we just need to make sure that we're staying low and staying quiet and covering our tracks and those kind of things, if we have to bug out and that situation occurs, so that we are less noticeable in those kind of things. And basically that's all I've got for you guys. I want to hear your feedback. I want to know, if you plan on just doing it as a lone wolf, or if you plan on, doing it as a group. And if you do, give me your information on that, how you plan on overcoming some of these cons that I listed as far as both are concerned. And that's essentially all I have for you guys. So as always do remember, everything does happen for a reason. Whether you're having a good day or a bad day, you're in a good situation or a bad situation, just stick with it. You're on that journey for a reason. Everything's going to be okay. Also, always remember, forget about the past. There isn't anything that we can do about the past other than learn from it, grow from it, and be better people from it in the future. We need to be living our lives right now. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. We all could not be here tomorrow, so it's important that we're living, loving, laughing, and enjoying our friends and family right now while we're staying focused on the future. Hope everybody has a great day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.